Fox News alert, the United States and our Arab partners, 5 of them that we know of right now, expanding the war against ISIS in Syria overnight with airstrikes. You just saw a Tomahawk taken off. But does the president have the legal authority for the new strikes without approval from Congress? Joining us right now is Fox News senior judicial analyst, Judge Andrew Napolitano.
Steve, good morning.
Judge, we've been talking about this for a while. If the United States were to strike inside of Syria on these ISIS targets, many feel he would need congressional approval.
Well, he himself has said that the authorization to use military force, that's the law enacted by Congress right after 9/11, to authorize President Bush and his successors to pursue the people who planned and plotted 9/11, is no longer valid with respect to ISIS because they didn't exist at 9/11.
Of course.
So he's pretty much painted himself in a corner on this. However, he continues to show his contempt for the Constitution. The Constitution says only Congress can declare war. In a procedural vote 2 months ago, 400 of the 435 members of the House, overwhelming numbers of Republicans and Democrats, said only Congress can declare war and he needs a congressional resolution if he wants to go after ISIS. What does he do? He waits until Congress is adjourned and home on its election break. He did the same thing when he bombed Libya in 2010, waited until Congress was on a spring break. So he doesn't care about the law. He has yet to ask for a congressional resolution. He knows he can't degrade ISIS in less than 180 days. What's the significance of that? The statute under which he is bombing in Syria without congressional authorization only lets him do it for 180 days. He doesn't care about the law. He doesn't care about the Constitution. He wants to win votes for Democrats, which is probably why he's doing this now, as opposed to last week when Congress was in session and he could have asked for the lawful authority to do so.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that we struck at ISIS targets inside of Syria for domestic U.S. politic reasons?
I'm saying that there's a very strong case to be made that that's why the president waited until Congress was no longer in session. Because if Congress gave him authority, they would have restricted the geography and the duration, and they would have told him when this ends. Now, Congress has an out. They don't have to do anything. The president gets his war. The Democrats can say we're as strong on war as the Republicans are. He could even pull off some sort of an October surprise if he wants.
Look at that.
It's a terrible situation because neither the president nor the Congress are interested in following the Constitution, something they all swore an oath to uphold.
Well, we do know that the president did apparently call the speaker last night and told him what he had up his sleeve. But going forward, this really shouldn't surprise us. I mean, this particular administration has done all sorts of things by executive action and end run and, gone around Congress anyway.
You know, he's done that a lot. But in this particular case, the Constitution could not be clearer. He is the first president in American history repeatedly to use the military without even asking for congressional authorization. All the others have asked for it, even after 9/11, even to go after Afghanistan, where the plotters plotted the tragedy and crisis here. George W. Bush asked for and got congressional authorization.
Okay, so if the White House is using the authorization from back in 2002 after 9/11 regarding al-Qaeda, if they're using that for the rationale to be striking at ISIS, which didn't even exist back then, clearly the president is on thin legal ice.
Correct. But unless somebody does something about it, he'll continue to do it. If Congress acts like a potted plant, as it did when the president destroyed Libya, which arguably led to the tragedy at Benghazi and the chaotic state of affairs there now, Congress will be as much to blame as the president. Congress can rein him in with votes.
But don't you think a majority of members of Congress wanted what happened last night to happen last night?
I think they wanted it to happen after they authorized it, which they didn't do yet.
You're right. All right.